King Béhanzin, also known as Kondo Béhanzin, was the last independent ruler of the Kingdom of Dahomey, reigning from 1889 to 1894. His rule was marked by fierce resistance against French colonization efforts in West Africa. Dahomey, located in present-day Benin, had become a key target for French expansion due to its strategic location and involvement in trade, including the Atlantic slave trade. Upon ascending the throne, Béhanzin inherited a kingdom under increasing pressure from European colonial powers. In particular, the French sought control over Cotonou, a vital coastal trading port. Tensions escalated when Béhanzin refused to recognize French claims to the area, leading to the Franco-Dahomeyan Wars of 1892 to 1894. During the conflict, Béhanzin's forces, which included the renowned Dahomey Amazons, an all-female military regiment, mounted a formidable defense but were ultimately outmatched by the superior French military technology, including modern firearms and artillery. After several battles, the French succeeded in capturing key territories and eventually deposed Béhanzin. In 1894, he surrendered and was exiled to Martinique and later to Algeria. With his removal, the Kingdom of Dahomey was officially absorbed into the French colonial empire, and Dahomey became a French protectorate. Béhanzin remains a symbol of resistance against colonial rule and is remembered for his determined efforts to defend his kingdom's sovereignty. After Béhanzin ascended the throne in 1889, tensions between the Kingdom of Dahomey and France reached a breaking point. The French had long sought control of key coastal areas, particularly Cotonou, which was crucial for trade and colonial expansion. Béhanzin's refusal to cede control and his resistance to French demands led to open conflict. In 1892, a French military expedition led by Colonel Alfred Amédée Dodds was dispatched to subdue Dahomey. Kingdom of Olaïda, a major player in the regional politics of the time. According to tradition, this split among the brothers set the stage for the formation of three important polities in the region, each of which played significant roles in the history of West Africa. Duatlin, who fled north, established the city of Abomey, which became the capital and heart of the Kingdom of Dahomey. Dahomey would rise to prominence in the 18th and 19th centuries, distinguished by its military power, centralized monarchy, and engagement in the transatlantic slave trade. The kingdom's wealth and power were largely built on its ability to capture and sell war captives into slavery, along with its control over key trade routes in the region. Olaïda, under the control of the brother who remained, continued to be a significant power, while Porto Novo, founded by the brother who fled to the southeast, became an important coastal trading city. All these states paid tribute to larger, more powerful entities, such as the Oyo Empire, in order to maintain their autonomy while benefiting from trade. Dahomey, in particular, became renowned for its highly militaristic society, its powerful kings, and its unique institutions, such as the all-female military regiment known as the Dahomey Amazons. Over time, Dahomey eclipsed both Olaïda and Ouidah, becoming a dominant force in the region and a key participant in the Atlantic slave trade. However, the kingdom's prominence also made it a target for European colonial powers, especially France, which eventually led to its conquest in the late 19th century and its transformation into a French protectorate. Olaïda and Ouidah, now Ouidah, were two important kingdoms in West Africa, located in what is now southern Benin, and both were deeply involved in the Atlantic slave trade during the 17th and 18th centuries. Olaïda was located inland, north of the coast, and was a powerful inland kingdom that had grown prosperous through its strategic position in regional trade routes. It was traditionally regarded as the origin point for several other significant kingdoms in the region. The royal family of Oloida played a central role in the founding of neighboring kingdoms, including Porto Novo and Dahomey. Olaida's wealth and influence increased due to its participation in the transatlantic slave trade. It served as a middleman in the trade of slaves, sending captives from inland areas to European traders on the coast. Decline: Olaida's power waned in the late 17th century due to competition from its neighbors, especially the rise of the Kingdom of Dahomey, which eventually conquered Oloida in 1724. Ouidah was a coastal kingdom, located directly on the Gulf of Guinea. Its coastal position made it one of the most important ports for the transatlantic slave trade. It was the primary center through which European slave traders, particularly the Portuguese, Dutch, French, and British, conducted business with African traders. Ouidah became wealthy by acting as a key hub for the export of enslaved Africans, as well as other goods such as palm oil and ivory. European forts were established there to facilitate this trade, and the kingdom grew increasingly dependent on the slave trade for its economy. In 1727, the Kingdom of Dahomey, under King Agaja, conquered Ouidah. Dahomey absorbed Ouidah into its growing territory, taking control of its ports and continuing the slave trade from there. This helped Dahomey rise as a dominant regional power. Both Oloida and Ouidah played critical roles in the West African slave trade, but both were eventually eclipsed and absorbed by Dahomey, which became one of the most powerful and centralized states in the region until its eventual colonization by France in the late 19th century.